Carlos, the truth is that you're a person to whom we must always be very grateful for your high availability to attend the UNED this year. I think it is already the second or third time that you are here, as far as I remember, so thank you very much. Carlos was vice rector of the Carlos III between 2015 and 2023 in the area of digital strategy and digital education, and he is currently the rector's delegate for digital micro-credentials. As it is such an important topic, the rector thinks that what better than Carlos to take care of it. So it's a pleasure, Carlos, to have you here. Carlos, from a university that we call face-to-face, well, is a perfect example of how to lead the improvement of learning through technologies. So anytime you want, go ahead. Carlos, thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you, Miguel, to Angeles, to all the friends of UNED. The style of my presentation is slightly unique compared to Daniel's. Maybe you have to allow me to do it. Let me try touching the keyboard. See if this works better. Yes. There it is. Well, I have a little introduction. Shall we say past events? But the last part is dedicated to reflect on artificial intelligence and how it will impact us. The UNESCO Chair in Digital Education is Key for All is the second chair set up at the Carlos III University. It was created in November 2013, so it is 10 years old. And the title is Digital Education is Key for All, which will now be decided. We won't repeat the function of the UNESCO Chairs. There is also a network of collaborators from other universities that we have been successively expanding. We refer to 10 years ago. It was the time of MOOCs, let's say, massive open learning courses. And then it was one of the main objectives of this chair, MOOCs, which are basically, well, they're videos. They are interactive exercises and forums. And the concept of open interactive exercises and forums. It is useful not only in the World Wide World and globally, but also in other contexts, such as small private online courses, as a complement to subjects, to flipped subjects in the flipped classroom. Therefore, this technology has a much wider use, and hence the idea of digital education that is scalable for everyone. With these technologies, but scalable as a central element, as a complementary element for everyone, for developed or developing countries, for all ages, all educational and intellectual levels, and for lifelong learning. That is a little bit the objective of this chair. Above all, in principle, we were promoting the production, and there were instructions, good practices for the production of MOOCs and SPOCs in Spanish, because the emphasis is on Latin America, providing good practices, encouraging research on these MOOCs and SPOCs, and support teacher training, while contributing to the exchange of knowledge and intercultural relations. We have a website where we post all the news, and we have a network of institutions in Spain and Latin America interested in promoting the MOOC culture. The Educate website, educate.ucm.es, with several pages, papers, and so on. I have not emphasized here to the Erasmus Plus projects we have had in the last 10 years. We have had 15 Erasmus Plus projects with Europe, with institutions such as Edinburgh, Lovena, Open University of Holland, and many others. We have had projects with Latin America, with Guatemala, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Chile. We have had projects with Southeast Asia, with Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines. And now we also have a last project with Georgia and Armenia. The topics of these projects are initially about MOOCs, the MOOC Maker project, about learning analytics, the LALA project, for example, learning analytics in Latin America, about competencies for teachers, the PRO 21 project, or the competency project with Southeast Asia, and lately the MicroCasa with Southeast Asia, and the MicroGear with Georgia and Armenia. Thus, the topics have been MOOCs, 21st century teacher competencies, on micro-credentials, and also elements of artificial intelligence that cannot be overlooked. At this event that we did in 2014, we were present, the UNESCO representatives. We also had the presence of some directors who were also present at this conference, such as Fred Mulder, now deceased, Rory Magreal, and Francisco Mijavila from Athabasca and the Polytechnic University of Madrid. I think we have to click somewhere to give you back control here. And we have our dear Lorenzo also, who was at the round table, together with Jose Manuel Perez Tornero and myself, talking about open educational resources to MOOC and vice versa. So that was in March 2014 today. Well, we have had these 3 periods. Here we have Daniel Burgos also to take his picture too in this event, right? With Abelardo Pardo from Australia and Piranto Anolmo. We are in the 3rd period. We have been here for 10 years. We have organized more than 160 events. We have participated in more than 170 events that are on the website. We have expanded the network of collaborators with Latin America, which is also on the website. Hey, we leave a title that reflects a little on the advent of artificial intelligence and the implications that I believe it is having. Before, we had many actors, all of them from developed countries. And now there is one more actor that comes in here, and that broadens the concept of all of us. It is this little bug, this artificial intelligence, which also learns and teaches. That is to say, it has to be trained, it has to be fine-tuned, thus it has to be taught. It costs a lot of money to train a model, but it also serves to teach us. In other words, it's a bidirectional matter. We teach the bug, and the bug teaches us. As a teacher, by asking it with those queries. And therefore, it is one more actor for me in the educational context. Opportunities with its risks and with the changes that it implies will reflect on a few ideas. The possibility of doing the automatic multilingualism. This is Carlos Salario. Speaking many languages, I won't show it for a matter of time. These are synthetic avatars. I don't know if you know Channel One. Channel One is a new service, current, but it's very good. They look real. I mean, this is exactly the same. For education, I think we will see this sooner or later. We already have it with high-tech 3.0 and so on. But I think this is going to increase and improve exponentially. So this is going to be a reality very soon. The application of diagrams and images. I once got a parking ticket because I didn't understand the whole string of exceptions to exceptions. This is best explained by an artificial intelligence. Socratic doctors, as they are starting up at Khan Academy and so on, where it does not answer the questions as they are, but helps the student to learn. This example from David Malan, Harvard University, who has the ED course, CS50, Introduction to Computer Science. He has a forum based on ED, an open forum where students intervene. Students sometimes make mistakes, but other students correct them. There is one more student who is this duck, the duck CS50, who intervenes in the conversation. He is always willing, always has time, always responds kindly, patiently. Sometimes he's wrong too, but just like the students. So it's not a novelty, but it helps a lot. David Mellon will present a paper next year where he explains this process as one more participant in the learning experience, and many other things. I will not go into detail for lack of time. Meeting assistance, automatic generation of web pages with data button and programming assistance. Matt Welsh says that we are facing the end of programming. That is where artificial intelligence systems will program better and faster. Maybe it is not the first one. Maybe they are wrong. Maybe the prompts need to be fine-tuned. Maybe we need to think about it several times. But ultimately, it can make us a first proposal that we have to evaluate, and that allows us to save a lot of time and evolve more quickly. Even like FunSearch, which is a very recent paper by Google DeepMind, where new algorithms are developed, defined, and found. Algorithms that did not exist before. That is, that are better, more efficient, like these heuristics here. This is the best heuristic that existed so far, and now another heuristic has been found that gives better results And that allows us to find, for example, these boxes with fewer boxes that packed everything better. Therefore, it allows us to define new algorithms, also of matrix multiplication, which is essential in times of big data, new drug experiments, medical treatment, in short, of extension, not only of the knowledge that already exists, and that is why it is presented to us, but of extending the knowledge as we know it. Of course, there is a flip side to this, right? There is no need to insist here on issues of intellectual property, ethics, biodiversity. The European EISC has recently come out, and it is very good. The biases, perhaps it would be possible to eliminate completely, right? Or, well, making videos, right? Like this one here, I invite you to see TikTok, Tom Cruise on TikTok. This is not Tom Cruise, but he does have a series of videos that everything is false. Until this deception, we did not see. But in real time, this is not a deep fake. This means it is processed afterwards. If not in real time, a person can wear a mask and pretending to be someone else. These are very worrying things. Gartner says that by 2025, 30% of all social media marketing messages, we are going to be overrun now by messages that have not been created by people. I recently complained to Lufthansa to see what happened. They answered me with general messages that went nowhere. I have made a test, and I have logged into GPT to see for this very reason, to see what they answer me. And it answers me in detail, apologizing. Much better than how a human does it with a template. So I think that for the customer caring world, the advantages are convenient. And then the last thought, I think this is a big change that I don't know if we have realized. Until now, we are used to command languages or programming languages or languages where things are structured. And if I do the same thing, I get the same result. Everything very fast. It restricts us more on how we communicate. But we have the guarantee that the response is always going to be the same to the same impulse. And now it's not. Now we have natural language that allows us to communicate more easily with systems. But the result can be good, can be bad, can be unpredictable. That is, we move from command languages to formal languages, and the result is unpredictable with properties of deciding mathematical languages comfortable in their use. But the result is unpredictable. The properties of these systems are emergent. We can define them, find them, prove them mathematically. And I give you an example. The chain of thought prompting, which consists of the answer as I want it, and then I ask another question. The answer is going to be of the style that I give the answer of that example. So that allows me to improve the results. If I say here, this is normal. To this question, I want you to answer me this. I ask you this question, and you answer me this. And it's wrong in this case. But if I ask you the same question, and I say, the reasoning by which I arrive at the result and ask another question, the result is much better. This right here, the chain of thought prompting, well, some guys from Google, right? Well, it's a property that improves the result of artificial intelligence in cases of complex reasoning, but obtained by experiments empirically. It is an emergent property if the models are sufficiently large. That is, it is not something consubstantial, but, look, this has turned out, I've done experiments and I got this, right? So this kind of change, right? Prompting is not an exact science, but it is an experimental science that we learn by mistake. I think it's an important paradigm shift, isn't it? The guarantee of the result to the best effort. Maybe I'm answering you wrong or something, right? I think this is a change that has very big implications in our society. Since I already have 15 minutes here, let me end with this quote from Leah Zaidi, who says that artificial intelligence is not, I don't know how to say, disrupting education, is not affecting education in depth, but what it is affecting is the industrial model of the education assembly line, right? Where we put the students in an assembly line and they all come out of it very squared with courses divided into subjects, days divided into hours, right? This assembly line is all very gridded. So this industrial model of the assembly line that we have in the university is changing, and yet what artificial intelligence can do is to change the parameters, change the objectives, rethink education, because it is basically telling us that we are doing it wrong. We are not educating in competencies. We are educating in a kind of assembly line, and therefore it helps us to reflect and try to change the way we do things. And lastly, this is the first picture. Some say it is by Joseph Niepce, others say it is not by him, but regardless. Then in the 19th century, they said that this would mean the end of portraits because it is no longer necessary to portray. I can take a picture of a person as he or she is. But in the end, what it meant is the beginning of a new creativity, of understanding and seeing things in a different way. And let's hope that artificial intelligence will help us to find this new creativity also in education. Thank you very much.